for waiting, and we are just about to go live. Okay, we are live. Start.
Hello, everybody. I think it's good evening in India, actually. Good afternoon in the UK, and probably good morning in the US. I don't know about Australia. It should be in the evening as well. So I think we've covered all the time zones. I'm Malini Vissandjee. I'm someone who is aligned in the fashion industry through my fashion accessories business. And I will host today this talk related to image and personal branding. The talk is brought to you by Inspiring Indian Women Group, which was started with a vision to reach out and inspire each others with their stories of success, targeted to Indian women, of course, as the name it says. It helps to promote Indian culture across the globe and provides a healthy platform for Indian women to motivate and support each other. I've been personally following Inspiring Indian Women for a while now. And actually, I've been personally inspired by what everybody does there. Rashmi, hats off to you. And for example, their latest campaign has been on helping promote for free small businesses owned by talented Indian women. Today, I have the privilege of bringing on the platform Pinki Akash, who is a homemaker, mother of 3 beautiful children, and from a reputed business family in Chennai, and founder of Pinki Akash Image Consulting Services. Welcome, Pinki. Pinki is a certified image professional, a fashion model, and she's specialized in wardrobe consultation, grooming, etiquette expert, and a styling coach. She wears many hats and she's got broad shoulders, I think. Pinki gets involved in various philanthropic activities involving marginalized and underprivileged women by coaching them on how to groom, how to handle themselves, and other aspects of becoming young, confident women. Pinki amazingly has a very diverse background. She has a North Indian background, settled in Chennai for a while now, and works to help underprivileged Tamilian local communities. So who can better understand diversity and multi-ethnicity than Pinki Akash? We'll start off by introducing, I'm going to just ask her to talk to us about her journey from homemaker to being a spiritual coach. Pinki, up to you now.
Hi, Malini. Good evening, all. And it's afternoon in London, I suppose.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. So, women empowerment is a subject very close to my heart. I chose entrepreneurship because I always wanted to stand on my own legs and be my own boss. I have always been intrigued by entrepreneurship and read success stories of many entrepreneurs. You see, it is very fascinating if you build something from the scratch and it is like your baby. Well, I always wanted my firm to have my name, as it was my dream to start my own company in my own name. After my marriage, I couldn't pursue my post-graduation. But once my kids grew and they could manage on their own, I started my studies again and became a certified image consultant and a spiritual therapist. My husband has always been a source of support and inspiration for me. Hence, I started this company as Pinki Akash Image Consulting Services. It takes a lot of courage, learning, self-confidence, planning, perseverance, hard work, combined with good strategy and execution skills. My husband has always been a constant support who gave me valuable inputs to make the journey a lot easier for me.
So what made you choose this career other than something else?
I was always inspired by this profession because, even from childhood, people will discuss their problems with me regarding their clothing and their accessories, what to wear or what, that they were, disappointed at some events, so they always wanted to know, they'll discuss the problems with me. I had always been a people's person. And so it was easier for me, to pick up this as my profession. like that.
Give us more insight about your philanthropic activities and what sort of an example of what you've maybe recently done that you'd like to showcase out there so that people can see exactly what you're doing, and what are your future plans with these activities?
Yeah, so I've been associated with the social activities since long back. In 2016, I was a social project head of my institution. So I had did around 9 projects in that year, which included distribution of calipers, wheelchairs, organizing blood donation camps, organizing eye camps. Then we had distributed sanitary napkins to the schools, to the government schools for the girls. And we regularly teach cosmetology and tailoring for the girls of 9th standard and 11th standard in a garment school, so that they could learn stitching and stand on their own legs. At least they could do their work on their own, the stitching work at least, and later on they can stand on their own legs and earn their livelihood. And I frequently go to garment schools to teach hygiene and etiquette to kids as part of my social activity. I think I consider it as my duty to impart the knowledge which I've acquired to the kids. Yeah. So one of our women empowerment project, recently, we conduct exhibitions by providing the underprivileged Jain ladies, a platform. We provide exhibitions, and we provide a platform wherein they come and they exhibit their products. So we give them stalls at a minimal rate, and they can just come and sell their products, and they earn by it. So we conduct these exhibitions frequently for them.
And you do that exclusively in Chennai or elsewhere in Chennai. Okay, so it's Chennai focused. I mean, you just said that you do a lot of donations and charity work, etc., etc. So you must be surrounded with a good number of donors who are there regularly to help you. So how do you sort of manage to convince them that this is what you're doing and this is what the donation you need and this is how much you need, etc.? I mean, if you think of a cost of a wheelchair, I mean, it's not a given, it's not something that you can buy that like that. So how do you make sure that you have your donors who are surrounded and who are constantly with you?
Yeah. So as you know that Jains, we are into this social activity, regularly. Even during the COVID-19 thing, we donated a bus wherein they had all the facilities, for anybody who needed the oxygen and all of that. So we donated that also. I am a part of the GITO International Trade Organization, which is GITO, which is all over the world, which is there all over the world. So I'm the social project head of that institution too. So currently we are doing this exhibition thing, women empowerment thing under that. So, people are ready to, donate how much ever they can for the social cause.
Okay. Yeah. We'll move on to you, and I would like us to tell us about your Jain Vidya, where you recently got a diploma with distinction.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell us about your journey and why did you take that on? Why did you take that journey on? How long it took you, and what was the process? If anybody wants to, feel inspired by you.
So it was a 3-year course. The whole journey was a bliss, and it helped me to delve deeper into the reality of life. For meditation purpose, we need to concentrate deep into the soul, wherein the soul exists in an independent manner. No worldly ties or relationships. You concentrate only on your pure eternal soul in a solitary manner. Because through these studies, I came to know that the soul is pure. It is free from all the passions, anger, conceit, deceit. The challenge is to silence the mind, conquer the mind. And this was the process I went into in this 3-year course through studying of our agams, Jain agams.
Okay. And how does your genealogy Tavta set course help you in your profession in terms of you are doing spiritual coaching as well, but at the same time you do wardrobe consultation. Is there any way there links with that?
I try to link them both because the global ecological crisis cannot be solved unless and until spiritual relationship is established between humanity as a whole. Jain ecology is based on spirituality and equality. Each life form, plant or animal, has an inherent worth. It is based on the principle of parasparo pagraho jivanam. Jainism holds that the entire world, including plants, trees, birds, animals, water, and so forth, is possessed of life. So it is a prime duty to protect all of these. Now, there are many things that children learn from infancy: playing keyboard, solving complex maths, playing chess, and even algorithm and coding. What I think is if they can pick up such skills at young age, they can easily pick up what is so natural to the soul, spirituality. Having been used to sense pleasures at such a young age, there is very little hope that they will have the strength to give it up later in life. The earlier, the better. At youth or in childhood, they have the malleability to groom their lives in the right direction. Spirituality practices have been recognized as a powerful coping mechanism for dealing with life-changing and traumatic events. Since I work into grooming the young kids, my spiritual study helps me in dealing with them and in providing spiritual care, dealing with the provision of providing compassion and empathy during periods of heightened stress, distress, and anxiety.
That's very interesting when you talk about grooming the children. Do you actually go around in schools, or do you do individual coaching and grooming? How does that work for children? And what are the age groups are you looking into?
Yeah, so I do individual coaching as well. And for grooming and hygiene and etiquette, there's no particular age group. So anybody who wants to learn can come to me like that. For styling only, I have a particular age group that is 18 plus or something like that. But for grooming, I go to the garment schools for all age groups, even colleges, because the COVID-19 pandemic, had, the people had suffered too much because of this. So I go to give spiritual classes to them in colleges too, so that they'll be able to cope up with life.
And you still continue going this at the moment, or do you do that online?
No. Now I do physical classes. Previously, I used to do online. Now I've started physical classes.
So is your grooming exclusively to the female population, or you also sort of teach the male, the boys in the...
Both the male and the female. Yeah.
Okay. So what difference do you find in when you're teaching kind of grooming between the male and the female? How do they sort of capture things? Because if it's an age group of teenagers, you know how teenagers can be mean sometimes, and how they can sometimes take, and you would have, I would consider, I think girls would be a bit more serious about it than boys. So how do you try and capture the sort of attention?
Yeah, the girls are more serious, and they are more willing to,
they're more willing to learn. Yeah.
Whatever.
So how do you capture the attention of the male population in this case? And
somehow I managed to. It's difficult, but somehow I managed to.
Okay.
Because grabbing their attention is a big thing. Yeah. Firstly. But with regular coaching, they tend to learn from it.
Yeah. But how important is grooming today in today's world, in the sense where I think there's a cultural difference in Western Europe and in India. Is grooming more important in India than in the Western culture? Does it come automatically in the Western culture, or is it important to make them understand that grooming is important in India or something like that? Or is there a cultural difference in the way you do people are groomed in the different parts of the world?
I think, to outside India, uh, maybe you take it in London, I think it's inborn in them, because they follow that culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in India, people are not yet aware of it, that much aware of it. And image consultancy is also a very new profession which has come in now recently, around 15 years back, or not more than that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So people are taking it, they're just accepting it now over here.
Yeah. Okay.
And grooming is the secret of a real elegance. The best clothes, the most wonderful jewels, the most glamorous beauty don't count without good grooming. It includes your body language, your postures, gestures, communicational skills, etc. And
Yeah.
moreover, self image is
Yeah.
important, because the way we think about ourselves affects the way we feel about ourselves and the way we respond to life.
Mhm.
Body image is also directly related to self image. So, body image includes more than what we look like or others see us. It is highly significant for one's physical and mental health. Hence, good grooming is integral and impeccable style is a must. I make them understand that they have to look the part, because looking good isn't self importance, it is self respect.
Mhm. Okay. As a wardrobe evaluator, this is the way you describe yourself on your Instagram account. I just tell our audience that you do have an Instagram account. How do you advise people on sustainability? I mean, people keep buying, and we know that some people who are loaded, sometimes they just wear a dress once. Where is sustainability in that? How do you advise these people? Recently I read an article about Kate Winslet, who actually uses her wardrobe twice or three times, and in our community I have seen people just wearing a dress once. How do you convince people to, in today's world, that sustainability is important when you're doing their re-image, their coaching, when you're evaluating their wardrobe, because that's very, very important.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I try to imbibe it in them that clutter is the stuff which interferes with the life they want to live. Clutter slows us down from doing the things we value most. So it is that unnecessary stuff that we entertain, but doesn't help us to grow, or doesn't help us to, go where we want to go. And the clutter needs to be removed. Wardrobe evaluation is the art of clustering clothes, of buying less and having more. We have all been there standing in front of a mirror and wondering what to wear. I know we've all been through this, wondering what to wear, although we may have a lot of clothes. But a huge portion are outdated. Either they don't fit properly, some need to be dry cleaned, or just don't go with anything in a closet in a way that makes sense. This is where we come in and determine what needs to be donated, or what can be taken to a tailor and altered. Then we create a list to fill in the gap. That item which will complete the wardrobe. We add that item which will complete the wardrobe. As consumers, we have so much power to change the world by just being careful in what to buy. So what we do is, we take one or thing out, and add. Now if I take a top, a t-shirt or a shirt out, we add in two or three, more to it, and we try to cluster it in it, like with three pieces, we three let's say, at least with five pieces we can make 12 outfits out of it by clustering with each other, adding a blazer to a one piece, or adding a shirt, and then or adding a t-shirt, like mix matching things. So we try to experiment with this and manage with the existing wardrobe by not keeping on adding it.
Yeah, at every wedding in the Indian community, at every wedding, there is a must to go and buy something So how do you convince people? No, you can just, I've worn it already last year in XYZ, X's wedding. This year it's Z's wedding. I need to buy something new. And it's not sustainable.
Absolutely. So
And that's very typical of the Indian community.
Yeah. So what we do is recently for me also, what I did is I already had a lehenga of 20 years back, which I wore. So what I did was I got a top done on it, and I wore it, and it looked so pretty because it was an older version of my clothing. So, I do something like that, mix matching things, not buying a brand new one, which will cause the heck of it like that.
Okay. So I hope your clients will follow your example.
Hope so.
As an image consultant, self-confidence, etc. What techniques do you use to influence your clients and make sure that you bring in permanent change, that they don't bring their old habits, their old image back? What techniques do you use?
See, as they say, if you wear your clothes consciously, they can become a way to know yourself better and to live more consciously. Because dressing well is a way of expressing yourself. If people are failing, there are many people who fail in some fields, they look inept. If people are succeeding, they look smart and good and look competent. So that's the halo effect. Your first impression of a thing sets up your subsequent beliefs. It just takes, I think, 7 seconds to make a solid first impression. And you never get a second chance to make a solid first impression. Being an environmentalist, I always see to it that I assist my clients in purchasing sustainable clothing. The environment and the economy are two sides of the same coin. If we cannot sustain the environment, we cannot sustain ourselves. Ethics plus aesthetics is equal to sustainable clothing. This is what I try to imbibe in them.
You just talked about the 7 seconds impression.
Yeah.
I saw on Instagram about something about a handshake. Do you want to tell us over here? The impression when you make a handshake.
Yeah, so that's the level of distance to be maintained.
And how tight you do your handshake and all that.
It has
Maybe
to be
you could
firm,
just explain that. I think that's a very good technique while we are here.
Yeah,
I think it gives you a good sort of influencing point that you are someone to go to, and if you want to learn as a corporate even how to present yourself and how to put yourself forward in a meeting, how to influence people, etc. So you could give us this example if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. So it is that the handshake, it should be tight but not too tight that it hurts the other people. And the amount of distance maintained when we meet for the first time for a personal meeting, and there are variations in that for a social meeting, for a business meeting, for a personal meeting. So that is all of it.
I'm just going to go back to Rashmi, if you don't mind me. Rashmi, do you have any questions on Facebook or on Zoom that has come from the public?
I am just looking at the Facebook, and I can see a lot of viewers there, but there's no question as such there. But I'm really very intrigued by what you do. This is a completely new subject to me: image building, branding, and that also in a professional way. Like everybody wants to be the best, look the best, and have the best of all. But to do something in a very professional manner, obviously you must have done a lot of studies on it and some courses and all that. So I wonder, how do people connect with you? How do they contact you? Your address, your email or your phone number. And because I know that there are so many out there who have a lot of social media handles and various other methods to impress people, but they don't do the right way. They don't know the right way possible. So is it possible for you to, if you have time, to throw a little bit of light on how to connect with you?
Yeah. So my Facebook ID is Pinki Akash 2001. And you want my address? I mean,
No, not address. In fact, email, how they contact you.
That's Pinki Akash 2001 @gmail.com.
Okay.
That's my email ID. So they can connect to me, and I'm willing to.
Do you have a website or something?
Yeah, that's www.pinkyakash.net.
And you are based in Bangalore, right?
No, Chennai.
Chennai, okay.
Chennai.
So I want to really, thank you for taking out time to be part of Inspiring Indian Women, and to help us understand that what exactly is this image building. What do you think, Malini? What is your take on it?
I think Pinki has given us a good insight of what she does. I still have a couple of questions, Pinki, if you don't mind me asking.
Sure. It's my pleasure.
Let's talk about etiquette. Etiquette is a very trendy word, very new. You say in one of your Instagram posts that the world sees what you put out there. Yeah. You're going to see me for the first time. You saw me for the first time. You're going to see what I put out there. Yeah, whether it's on Zoom or face to face. Yeah, and give us. I would like you to give our audience today some insight on what you mean by that. By taking an example, maybe this is the first time you're seeing Rashmi, and how should someone actually come across? Because I'm putting myself out there. How genuine do you feel it is? Because you can put yourself out there with a facade, right? But behind that facade, you're somebody else. Yeah. So how do you make sure that that person puts out themselves over there genuinely in a genuine manner?
Yeah. So that's being authentic.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. So we as image consultants look into managing people's image inside out. As they say, walk the talk. Yeah. Looking into all aspects of image, the way you walk, the way you talk, your body language, postures, gestures, motivational skills, etc. Now, for instance, we need to stand, sit, and walk tall, head held high, and be conscious of the energy you give out and connect with. While entering in a boardroom, enter composed, confident, have purposeful walk, have good eye contact with your audience. Your expression should be positive, pleasant, always relaxed, always stand 2 to 3 feet away, or it might be considered intrusive, and be authentic at the same time without making much effort to prove yourself, because virtue and genuine graces in themselves speak, no words can utter.
So when you go, I mean, let's talk about the type of clients do you get corporate clients, individual clients with a normal job, women who have time in their hands, like going through the wardrobe, leisurely women, and how do you manage their expectations?
So mostly my clients would be housewives, so who want to groom themselves a little when they go out to parties, or meetings, or not meetings, they are housewives, so probably parties or on coffees or in kitties, they come to me for suggestions for that as well. And then there are college goers, with whom I go as a personal shopper to shop with them. Then there are managers from corporates, who don't find that much time, to go and shop. So I do shopping for them as well. I connect to them, find out their personal style based on, their day-to-day activities. And then on the basis of their personal style, and go and shop for them if they don't find time to come with me.
Very interesting. Right. So you do manage their expectations. Are they people with high expectations, or they expect something from you which is over the top, or how well do you know? I could engage you tomorrow and say, Pinky, I need you to have a corporate launch tomorrow. How will you know what my expectation is, not knowing what's going on?
Oh, yeah. So exactly. I mean, in just one or two sittings, we can't just find out what's their personal style. I know what is their day-to-day activity, and so it takes time. It takes time. We have around 5 to 6 sittings with them, and then I get to know about them, and then only I can come to a conclusion, and so it's a 1.5, a 1 month process.
Yeah.
We need to sit that long, to know about them.
Imagine, yeah. I'm going to ask you a personal question, if you don't mind me, Pinky. How much influence as a wardrobe consultant or an image consultant do you have on your children?
My elder one is a college goer, so
So how do you influence him or her?
I don't know. This is the question to be asked to them, because if I say something, they'll say, "Mama, you are exaggerating." So I don't think I can answer on that. Yeah.
But they do see the way you work.
Yeah. They do. I think they see, and they get that quality. They do dress up well, because they learn from us. So they do dress up well.
And how much influence do you have on your husband in terms of image consulting?
He's changed a lot. Maybe I wish you were here to answer. He's changed his style much.
Oh, that's good. So are you very critical?
No, not at all. But then whenever he goes to shop, he makes it a point that I go along with him and suggest.
Yeah. I like the word you use, suggestion, because I think when one tries to change somebody forcefully, then you lose actually the personality of the person.
Exactly. That's the point. So we can't change them overnight.
No.
To some extent we can try changing their clothing or lifestyle, which should go according to their personal style, according to their personality. It has to suit them, right? Everybody can't wear everything.
No.
Yeah, that's what.
I'm going to ask you how you manage your business, or how were you managing your business? Well, it's still the same. How are you managing your business at the moment with the COVID?
Yeah. So I think resilience is one of the word which I always put forward during these past 2.5 years. I've been going to schools and colleges and providing workshops. So on this word, basically on the word resilience, because resilience has been shown to positively influence work satisfaction and engagement, as well as overall well-being, and can lower depression levels. There is even evidence that resilience can help us to protect from physical illness. It's a kind of solitary internal grit that allows those of us who are strong to bounce back. So it is also enabled by strong relationships and networks. We all have the ability to be resilient, but we need to know and grow that skill that boosts that quality. As Helen Keller quotes, you will succeed if you will persevere, and you will find a joy in overcoming obstacles. People have faced all kinds of adversities in life during this COVID-19 pandemic. There were personal issues such as illness, loss of loved ones, job loss, financial instability, etc. Now, to be more resilient, we have to stop, recognize the disruption, and take a minute to think about how we want to respond, offer solutions that represent our values and protect our interests. People in our support system can provide empathy or simply help us laugh through our difficulties and bolster our resilience by shifting perspective and reminding us we are not alone in the fight. Social support is imperative for health. Constantly remind yourself of your strengths and accomplishments. It's important to have people whom you can confide in. And I have always told them to embrace change and learn to be more adaptable. In that way, it will be a more easier to combat this pandemic.
Very interesting philosophy, actually. And I think there is a bit of influence of Jainology in whatever you just said, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
And it seems like your spiritual coaching journey has influenced a lot your grooming and tailoring people at the same time, and you try and link to each other with it.
Yeah, because because I've seen kids facing depression because of this COVID-19. They weren't able to meet their friends, their colleagues. Even I can see my son holding laptops, iPads, and the whole day they are on the computers.
Yeah,
so they are missing that touch, that. So even so I go to schools to teach them that the circle which we have, we should stay attached to them, otherwise we become a loner.
yeah, true.
That is what is more important.
Thank you for that insight, Pinki. I think it was very interesting. Rashmi, any questions coming through?
It's an eye-opener for me, actually, learning lots. I am really very much impressed with all that you have shared with us. I think we are indeed very privileged to have you, Pinki, Akash, on our platform. I hope the ladies...
Same, yeah, it's my pleasure to be...
Yeah, I hope the ladies will have learned lots and lots of things today. And also... obviously, the holiday mode is on for everyone, but nevertheless, the recording will be uploaded on YouTube by tomorrow, and the Facebook Live will always be there for people to go back and watch. And the links will be shared all over the social media as well as the WhatsApp groups. We are actually very happy that we could host such a show which talks about branding and image building, because we ourselves are looking forward to create the right impression on social media. There's so many organizations out there, and there's such a thin line, of what we are doing and what we are projected as. And yes, we are community builders, and we do not want to tread the line of trying to be a business, a marketing people. But at the same time, we want to help women by e-commerce platform, and which is a business model. But again, we do not want to make profit. We want the profit to go to the women vendors. There's so much to think how to go about it and how to learn different ways to support each other. And we will definitely be in touch with you, Pinki, Akash, and Malini. You were such a perfect host, and it's wonderful to meet you. Actually, I've been always meeting you and talking to you several times, but it's fantastic.
My pleasure.
Fantastic. And I see two beautiful women out there in front of me. Such inspiration on this screen. Thank you so much for being part of Inspiring Indian Women.
Thank you.
We look forward to hosting you again, Pinki, Akash, and thank you, Malini.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks a lot to Umesh Agarwal for connecting us to such wonderful people and faces. And we will definitely get back to you. Yeah, thank you again.
Thank you, Malini.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.